We're going to pull back the curtain on the complex world of your home's heating and air conditioning. And to do it, we're going to zoom in on one specific place where these systems are pushed to their absolute brink. You know the feeling, right? It's the hottest, most brutal day of the summer, the one day you really need that AC. And boom, silence. It just gives up. Why does that happen? Well, it turns out the answer has everything to do with one simple thing: location, location, location. And our search for that answer is taking us to a place that is the perfect real-world laboratory for any HVAC system: Poway, California. So that brings us to our first section, a climate's hidden stress. We're calling this the Poway Proving Ground, because this is where the whole story really gets started, with the environment itself. So what's the deal with Poway? Well, unlike San Diego right on the coast, it's an inland community. That means it doesn't get that nice natural air conditioning from the ocean. Nope, instead, it's stuck in this transition zone where that coastal cool just dies off and the intense inland heat takes over with a vengeance. And this environment creates a kind of triple threat for your air conditioner. First, you've got just raw, intense heat. We're talking summers that are regularly hitting 90, even over 100 degrees. Second, there are these huge temperature swings from day to night that put a ton of stress on every single part. And third, all that dust from the surrounding hills, it's a constant attack on your system's filters and coils. Okay, so you've got this brutal climate. How does that actually, break the machine? That brings us to the common points of failure, where we're going to connect the dots from the environment to the actual mechanical breakdown. A quote from our source material just puts it perfectly. These conditions lead to predictable failures. Your system works harder here. This isn't about bad luck. Not at all. It's a direct, predictable result of where you live. The first, and maybe most common of these predictable failures, is the capacitor. Now, think of this part as giving the motors a little jolt of electricity to get going, kind of like a shot of espresso. Because it's so hot, the system is constantly kicking on and off, and all that starting and stopping just wears this crucial part out way faster than it should. Next on the hit list, refrigerant leaks. Remember those big temperature swings? Well, they cause the metal pipes and connections in your system to expand in the heat and shrink in the cool, over and over again. It's like bending a paperclip back and forth. Eventually, those joints get weak and tiny leaks start to form, letting all your cooling power just escape into the air. And oh boy, this one is a huge, invisible money pit: duct leaks. See, a lot of your ductwork runs through your attic. In a place like Poway, that attic can get up to 140 degrees. So if your ducts have even small leaks, you're paying good money to pump perfectly cooled air right into a scorching hot attic, and it never even makes it to your living room. And the amount of wasted energy here is just staggering. We're talking 20 to 30% of your system's total cooling power can be lost to leaky ducts. Just think about that. Up to a third of what you're paying for is just poof, gone, leaking away silently over your head. Okay, enough of the doom and gloom. Let's talk about the solutions. Section 3, the anatomy of a fix. Let's walk through what a real, professional, no-nonsense service call should actually look like. It's actually a refreshingly simple 3-step dance. Step 1, diagnosis and assessment. The technician figures out exactly what's wrong. Step 2 is the repair, and this is key. It only happens after you've seen and approved a clear upfront quote. And finally, step 3 is testing and a final walkthrough to prove to you that the fix actually worked. The whole process should be built on one thing: transparency. You deserve to know what's wrong, what it'll cost to fix before the work starts, and you deserve to see it working properly before they leave. It's all about putting you, the homeowner, back in control. But how do you know you're actually getting a real pro? Well, let's dive into our next section: decoding pro standards. Because, and I can't stress this enough, not all technicians are created equal. So in a place like California, a huge deal is something called Title 24. Now, this is just a strict state energy code, but what it does is it mandates things like minimum efficiency ratings for new air conditioners. The rating is called SEER. Think of it like the miles per gallon for your AC. The higher the number, the more efficient it is. This code ensures new systems are actually built to save energy and save you money. And this really lays out the night and day difference. A real pro will have a C20 state license. That's the big one for HVAC. They'll have industry certifications like NATE for their technical skills and EPA for handling refrigerant safely. And crucially, they'll pull the required city permits for big jobs. An unlicensed person, you get none of that. it's a total crapshoot. And why does this stuff matter so much? It's not just red tape. These standards are there to protect you. They protect your safety from stuff like electrical fires, they protect your financial investment in a very expensive piece of equipment, and they protect your home's future value. Believe me, unpermitted work can become a massive headache when you go to sell. All right, let's bring it all home. In our final section, we're going to zoom out from Poway and give you some solid rules for every homeowner. Key takeaways you can use no matter where on earth you live. First up is the $5,000 rule. This is a super handy bit of math to help you decide whether to repair or replace an old system. You just multiply the cost of the repair by the age of your unit in years. If that number comes out to more than $5,000, then replacement is probably the smarter financial bet in the long run. So what's a realistic lifespan for one of these things anyway? Well, if it's been properly maintained, you can expect an HVAC system to last somewhere between 15 and 20 years. That's a great benchmark to keep in the back of your head so you know when you're getting into that replacement territory. And here is a fantastic pro tip for everyone: the 3-minute rule. If your power flickers or you have to shut your AC off for any reason, always wait at least 3 minutes before you turn it back on. This gives the pressure inside the system time to equalize. Firing it up too quickly forces the compressor to work against insane pressure, and that can cause some serious and very expensive long-term damage. So look, we used Poway as our laboratory today, but these lessons really do apply everywhere. Your home where you live has its own unique climate, its own unique challenges. The key is to start listening. So what is your HVAC system trying to tell you?